There's a moment right before someone goes underwater. A pause, a flicker of doubt in their eyes. You can't miss it. They take one last deep breath, usually close their eyes, and slowly submerge their face into the water. The surface goes still, and everything else fades away. I've witnessed this dance hundreds of times. They're about to meet themselves, their full, true, present self. We've guided over 100 CEOs through underwater breath holes. People who are used to making high-stake decisions with confidence, now floating face down in a pool, breath held, still, with no urgency for anything except the one thing they are there to resist: breathing. There's no phones, no noise, no titles. Just water, silence, and the truth that shows up in stillness. It sounds poetic, but I can assure you, you can feel the internal battle happening in front of you from several feet away. It's not about the breath or time underwater. I mean, technically, yes, it's a breath hole exercise, but that's not the point. The breath is just a door. Most leaders that we meet are caught in a cycle of constant output. Decisions, meetings, expectations. Always performing, always on. But when you strip that away, when they are alone with the breath, or without it, something raw and real shows up. We don't teach people to hold their breath. We teach them to expand their capacity, first mentally, then physically. The breath hole is just a mirror. And what I've seen over and over is that the moment they come up gasping isn't when their body needed air. It's when their mind thought it did. That edge between perception and reality is where the gold lives. Most people live inside self-imposed silence. They say things like, "I'm not that kind of person," or "I could never." And then I watch those same exact people, the ones who swear they can last 30 seconds underwater, go past 2 minutes, 3, sometimes 4. Not by pushing harder, but by letting go. Letting go of the tension, of the fear, of the inner voice that's been quietly lying to them for years. That realization doesn't stay in the pool. It ripples into the way they lead, the way they listen, the way they face pressure. We often talk about comfort zones as if there's like only one. The place where things are familiar, easy, and predictable, and the places where it's the opposite. But through our work, we've come to see that there are actually 3 distinct zones most people operate within. We call them the known zone, the ambition zone, and the potential zone. The truth? Most people live their lives bouncing between the known and the ambition zones. They achieve, strive, and succeed, but they rarely touch their true capacity. Not because it's out of reach, but because they've never been taught how to access it. Worse, they're never rewarded for venturing into it. We love showing people what that zone looks like for them. That's the space we create. Experiences that help people step into the potential zone. Not through force, but through presence, through discomfort, through meeting themselves in a moment that feels real. And when that happens, whether underwater, in nature, or in stillness, something shifts. And it stays with them for way long after they dry it off. When a leader comes out of the water, something subtle shifts. They realize, I had more in me than what I thought. And that changes how they show up at work, at home, under pressure, in uncertainty, in those precise situations where their best is needed and the hardest to access. It's not just confidence, it's clarity, calm, presence. They're no longer reacting from stress. They're responding from depth. So what's your water? You don't need to hold your breath underwater with us, but we highly recommend you do find your edge regularly. Where in your life are you operating inside perceived limits? What would it look like to stretch, not recklessly, but intentionally, beyond your known and ambition zones? That's the work of the Rebel Path, and of every single experience we build. It's not about becoming someone new, it's about remembering how powerful you've been all along. Don't believe me? Ask the ones who have joined us.